There's a question you've probably asked yourself more times than you'd like to admit. What if just this once doesn't really matter? Just one more time, one more exception, one more moment where you tell yourself you'll deal with it later. And in that moment, it feels small, manageable, almost harmless. But deep down, you already feel the truth, even if you don't say it out loud. You're not standing in freedom. You're standing right at the edge of something you already know has a cost. Not because you're careless, not because you don't care, but because there's a part of you that keeps wanting proof that the consequence won't come, that maybe the warning was too strong, that maybe you can stand close to the fire and somehow not get burned. But lately something feels off. Your peace feels thinner, your thoughts feel louder, your heart feels divided, a little defiant, a little tired, a little ashamed. And maybe you've been asking yourself why you feel this way if what you're doing isn't that serious. The answer is simple and uncomfortable at the same time. Truth doesn't disappear just because you delay it, and boundaries don't stop being real just because you test them. This isn't about punishment or someone watching you waiting for you to fail. It's about how reality actually works. Because every time you push against what you know is right, something inside you starts to strain. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly and consistently. That tension you feel, that inner conflict, that restlessness you can't explain, that's not weakness, that's awareness. You already knew that habit wouldn't bring peace, that compromise wouldn't stay small, that just this once wouldn't really be just once. But part of you kept wondering how far you could go and still be okay, how much you could ignore and still feel fine, how many times you could come back before it really cost you. And that doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. Because sometimes this isn't even about rebellion, it's about exhaustion. You've been tired, mentally drained, emotionally stretched, trying to carry more than you admit. And when you're in that state, you don't reach for what's right. You reach for what's easy, what's immediate, what feels like relief even if it's temporary. But just because something feels good in the moment doesn't mean it's good for you, and you've seen that. Because afterward you don't feel lighter, you don't feel clearer, you don't feel stronger, you feel split, like part of you enjoyed it and another part of you wishes you hadn't. That's the real issue, not just the action, but the division it creates inside you. You start negotiating with yourself, justifying things you once questioned, silencing instincts you once trusted, and little by little you drift. Not all at once, but slowly enough that you almost don't notice until one day, peace feels harder to find. Somewhere along the way you started treating boundaries like suggestions, like optional guidelines, like something you could bend depending on how you felt. But boundaries aren't there to limit your life, they're there to protect it. Like a guardrail on a mountain road, you don't appreciate it when everything's going smoothly. But it's the only thing keeping you from falling when you get too close to the edge. And the guardrail doesn't move just because you test it. You've been leaning against it, pushing it, seeing how much pressure it can take. But the discomfort you feel isn't the boundary hurting you. It's you refusing to step back. If you go deeper, you'll see this isn't just about behavior. There's always something underneath it. Loneliness, boredom, stress, insecurity, the need to feel something, the need to escape something. That's the real conversation. Because if you don't deal with that, you'll keep reaching for the same things, not because you want to hurt yourself, but because you don't know what else will fill that space. So this isn't just about stopping, it's about understanding. Instead of asking how far you can go, start asking why you keep going back, because that question changes everything. You don't need to hit rock bottom to change. You don't need a dramatic collapse to wake up. You don't need everything to fall apart before you start listening. You can stop right here, not out of fear but out of clarity. Real freedom isn't doing whatever you want. That's chaos. Real freedom is not being controlled by what weakens you, And that kind of freedom is quiet, steady, and doesn't need to prove itself. So maybe tonight you don't need another argument inside your head. You don't need another excuse. You don't need another just this once. Maybe what you need is to stop testing the line, to step back, to breathe, to choose alignment over impulse. Because peace isn't found at the edge, it's found when you stop walking toward it. You're not too far gone. You're not disqualified. You're not beyond change.